Sketches of Life. Friend Zone Group Therapy. Sketch 3. The scene is at the Lincoln Avenue Community Learning Center, where the Lincoln Avenue Friend Zone Support Group is having another session. The chairs are arranged in a circle, and the regulars are all there. Greg, the leader, professional-looking man in his mid-30s, Charlie, the college student, Andy, the corporate drone, in his late 20s, and Nathan, the elder nerd. There are only a couple of empty chairs. Greg starts the session. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you all had relaxing weekends. This weekend, we're going to be focusing on the 6th principle in the recovery process. Would somebody please read the principle aloud? Andy, how about you start? Andy looks down at his brochure and begins reading. I am ready to admit that the only person whom I have wronged in this entire situation is myself. Excellent, Greg says. Andy, what does that principle mean to you? Well, I think of all the times in my life that I've wasted hanging out with women who've never had sex with me, who've never even flirted with me, never laid a finger on me, never even gave me a lingering stare. Now, I suppose I enjoyed passing time with them, but I really wasn't getting anywhere during that time. When I was younger, I remember going over to visit with my friends, sitting in their apartments, watching movies, talking through into the wee hours of the night, drinking, smoking pot together, and having a wonderful time. But in my mind, I would always be racing through every possible circumstance that I could create to inject romance into the interaction. But I never figured out how. I just sat there, playing along, acting like a good friend, and then going home frustrated. I certainly was friends with them, and I certainly valued their friendship, and I certainly could never keep myself from visiting them again. But for me, the longing was always there. Before the session can continue, the door opens and a woman, Gina, enters very timidly. All of the men are surprised to see the woman entering the class. Is this the friend zone group? Greg, did you hire another speaker? Nathan asks. No, I didn't hire another speaker. Are you here to participate? Greg asks. Yeah, I had thought about attending for a while, but wasn't sure if it was right for me. Well, we're glad you came. We're glad you decided to give it a try. Please have a seat, Greg says. He gestures towards an empty seat, and Gina sits down. Everybody is staring at her. They can't take their eyes off of her. She begins to notice that she is the object of their stares and their attention. She fidgets uncomfortably. So how did you find out about our group? Greg asks. One of my friends saw something posted online and told me about it and said it might be helpful. Gina responds. Well, since you're new, please tell us why you're here, Greg says. I don't feel comfortable sharing just yet. I want to. I really want to share. I just would like to see how it works first. I'm afraid I'll be embarrassed. This is all so new to me, Gina says. That's okay. Andy, let's get back to the 6th principle. Though Greg tries to redirect the focus of the group to continuing the discussion, all of the other men keep staring at Gina. I don't understand why you're here, Andy says. Who, me? Gina asks. Yes, I'm not sure I understand why you're here. Well, I have a friend zone problem like everybody else here. That's not relevant right now, Andy. Let's get back to the 6th principle, Greg says, trying to cut off the conflict. Look, admitting the only person I've wronged is myself. Now, you were telling us about how you couldn't get back the time you had spent with... So you're not here doing research? Andy says, disregarding Greg's attempts to change the discussion. Research? Gina asks. Yeah, like for a news article or something along those lines. Why would I write a news article on this? This is just a group that meets every week. Well, why would you be here for yourself? Nathan asks. I'm not sure I know what you mean. Guys, Greg interjects. Stop it right now. She doesn't have to explain why she's here. This group is open to the public. Anybody can show up who wants to. I'm sorry, I think she does, Charlie adds. Why? Greg says. Oh, look, I'm not sharing my life experiences with a zoner, Andy says. Andy, where are your manners? We don't even know her. Take that back right now. Not until she explains herself, Andy says. I agree, Nathan says. Well, hang on a second. Does everybody here feel this way? Greg asks the entire room. The rest of the room nods in agreement. I've never heard of a zoned woman before. I don't think she should be allowed to participate until we know how that even works, Nathan says. I don't believe this, Greg says. Look, I'm afraid we need to know a little bit more about why you're here. This group is based on building group trust that encourages people to share. And we've never had a female participant, so the trust level, whether we like it or not, is lower than we'd like to admit. Look, it's not your fault. No, it is her fault, Andy says. For now, at least. So what happened? Look, there's a guy I like, but he doesn't seem to like me. I don't know what else there could be. It's as simple as that, Gina says. And you're friends with him? Charlie asks. Yes. But you're not fat or hideously ugly. Excuse me? Gina asks. Well, you seem to be attractive, Charlie says. So it's a guy, right? Not a woman, Nathan asks. That's what I said, Gina repeats. Are you sure he just isn't gay? Nathan asks. I don't think so. He's dated a lot of other women since we've known each other. Some of them are even friends of mine. So, hang on a second, Andy interjects. You're a straight woman. He's a straight man. And he's an actual friend. He's not an imaginary friend. Yes, Gina says. What's wrong with you people? Wait, what kind of friends? Andy asks. The normal kind, I guess, Gina responds. We all go out drinking on the weekends. We all play on the same softball team. We see each other regularly. We've built bonds over years. And he's not a coworker who just has a no dating policy as far as coworkers go, Andy asks. No, I've never worked with him, Gina responds. So you've been trying to get him to make a move on you, Charlie asks. Yeah, I guess. I don't think of it as only physical, but in a way, I suppose. I have been waiting for him to ask me out, Gina responds. For how long? Charlie asks. Oh, a couple of years at least, maybe more. A couple of years, Nathan says. And you've gone out drinking together. Have you ever been intoxicated with him at the same time? Yeah, plenty of times, Gina says. When he was between girlfriends or when he was already in a relationship with another girl? Well, let me see. I suppose both. We go out all the time. So what's his problem? Charlie asks. I wish I knew. He's just not that interested in me. Or at least he doesn't seem to be that attracted to me. That's why I'm here. That's why I wanted to attend this group. I'm having a difficult time dealing with it. Aren't all of you in the same boat? So have you ever been in a situation, Andy asks, where it was just the two of you, out together, both single, both available, both unattached, and both rip-roaring drunk? You, trying to get him to make a move on you, and he's deflecting the opportunity. Let me think here for a second. Yeah, a few times, I think. Yeah, Gina says. And you're sure he's not gay? Andy asks. Yes, good God, what is it with you guys and this assumption that he's gay? Greg interjects. I'm sorry, what's your name again? Gina. Gina, yes, Greg says. I'm afraid the guys are right. This isn't passing the smell test. I'm going to have to ask you to leave until you can come back with independent verification of being zoned. It's not that we don't believe you, but trust happens slowly. Are you serious? Gina asks. Zoned? I'm afraid so, Greg says. Now you can use a third party to verify the zoning, but we need some kind of proof that you're not fabricating your story. We would love to have a female participant, but we need one with credibility, and although we don't think that you have been foreclosed the opportunity of establishing your story, we just don't know if we can trust you yet. Until then, you can't participate. Gina gets her things and gets up to head for the door. You guys are horrible. No wonder the women you know don't want to have anything to do with you and never want to go out with you. Yeah, well, at least we have the truth on our side to guide us, Andy says, calling out to her as she leaves. Gina exits. Do you think she'll come back? Nathan asks. I don't know, Greg says. We sure could use a woman's perspective on things. Okay, Andy, we were talking about the time you'll never get back. Let's go from there. Sixth principle. Fade out. Recorded May 30th, 2013.